Graphing linear equations, part 6. In today's lesson, students will learn how to graph linear equations using the slope-intercept formula. Using the what? Very good. Now, we're used to seeing linear equations start with the letter, which letter? Y. But did you know that there is actually a name for this form of the equation? It is called the slope-intercept form. What is it called? Very good. Now, another name to remember the form for this equation is your mama's ex-boyfriend. Okay, I'm going to tell you one more time. It's your mama's ex-boyfriend. Okay, and hopefully your mama doesn't have too many ex-boyfriends. But you want to remember, in your mama's ex-boyfriend in this formula, you have two things that you really want to look for. The first thing you want to look for is the letter M. What is the letter M? M is used to represent the slope. What is it used to represent? The slope. Exactly. So in this formula, the letter M is slope. And we've learned how to find slope using the slope formula. Okay. The other letter that we want to look for, okay, which will be represented as a number, is the letter B. Now, B is actually the y-intercept. Which intercept is it? The y-intercept. That's right. So B will be the y-intercept. This means it will be a number that you have to find on which axis. Which axis do you think the y-intercept is on? The y-axis, which is the vertical axis. Very good. Now we'll learn how to use your mama's ex-boyfriend, or y equals mx plus b. Read it with me. Y equals mx plus b to graph linear equations. And it's really very simple. If you know what is the slope and what is the y-intercept. So let's take a look at this formula right here. Now the slope I have written in red, the y-intercept is in green, okay? So take a look at this equation. It says, read it with me, it says y equals 2x minus 3. Well, if you know your mama's ex-boyfriend, what is the slope? What is m? What is the red number, okay? It's, what is it? It's 2, exactly. So here, m equals 2. However, slope is always going to be rise over run. What is it going to be? Rise over run. So this 2 is really a fraction. All whole numbers can be a fraction if you put them over 1. If you put them over what? Over 1. Very good. So this is 2 over 1. So this is going to be your rise over run. That's your slope. Okay. So your slope is 2 over 1. Now I'm going to ask you, what is the y-intercept? The y-intercept is in green. That is going to be the number. See, this is a term. Whatever the term is, it means there's a number that touches x. When you have a number by itself, this is a y-intercept. So what is the y-intercept? Be careful, because it's not 3. It's negative 3. Exactly. So the slope is 2 over 1. And the y-intercept is negative 3. So the first thing you have to do is you have to use the y-intercept. What do you do first? Use the y-intercept. Now the y-intercept is on which axis? It's on the y-axis. So you're going to go ahead, look for what on the y-axis? You're going to look for negative 3. Exactly. Now you're going to look for negative 3. And then you're going to put down a coordinate point right there. So on the y-axis, negative 3 is down here. Okay, now from this point, you will begin to rise and run. how much will you rise up? You will rise up 2. Okay, so I'm going to go up 2. And how much will I run over? I will run over 1. So I'm going to go like this. From the -3, I'm going to go up 2 over 1. And I'm going to put a dot. Okay? From this point, I'm going to use the slope again. I'm going to go up 2 and over 1. Watch. Up 2, so 1, 2, over 1. Now from that point, you have 3 coordinate points. You can go ahead and make a straight line. Okay? So, we used the y-intercept and also the slope to graph this linear equation. I'm going to ask you a question. This is a review. Does this line have a positive slope or a negative slope? What does it look like? It looks positive, right? Because it's going up from left to right. But you can also tell it's positive because that is a positive too, right? It's positive too. So you know that the line is going to go up and be positively slanted. Let's do another example using y equals mx plus b or your mama's ex-boyfriend. So you need to find 2 things. How many things you need to find? 2. The first thing is the slope and the second is the y-intercept. That's correct. Now, slope I've told you, it is the red number. So what is slope here? Slope is -2. That's right. And remember, slope, the letter that represents slope is m. So I'm going to say m is -2. But is it just -2? Remember, it has to be rise over run. So can you make -2 a fraction? Can you make -2 a fraction? Who thinks yes? Who thinks no? Okay, you're wrong because you can. You have to make it a fraction by putting it over what? Over 1. So the slope is -2 over 1. And remember, slope is rise over run. So we found the slope. Now we need to find the y-intercept. Which intercept do we need to find? Y. So that's going to be the green number. What is the y-intercept? It is positive, what? Positive 1. That's right. So y-intercept is actually the letter B. And we're going to say B is 1. Okay, that's the y-intercept. So we're going to start with the y-intercept and then use the slope to make the coordinate points on the graph. Okay, so let's start with the y-intercept. What's the y-intercept? Which axis now are you going to start on? Okay, you're going to start on which one? Y. Very good. So you're going to start at 1. Okay, 1 is right here. Okay, on the y-axis. So you're going to start with this coordinate point. From 1, you're going to use the slope to make new coordinate points. Okay? So the slope here is -2. Can you rise down? Can you rise down, yes or no? Yes, you can rise down. You're going to go down. I'm going down. How many? You're going to go down 2. Now, when you go down, that's negative. So we're going to, remember, the zero's in the middle. So you're at 1, you're going to go down 1, 2. But then you have to go over positive 1. Positive to the right. So you down 2, over 1. Okay, so there's your new coordinate point. From this point, you're going to go down 2 again. 1, 2. And over 1 to the right. Okay, so you have 3 dots or 3 coordinate points. Now you can make your line. You can graph your line. Okay? So, what do you notice about this slope? What do you notice about this slope? Is it positive or negative? This is negative slope. And how do you know that? Well, if you looked at what m was, isn't that -2? Yes. So it's already telling you the slope is negative, so it goes down. Now, what happens when you have an equation that does not match the y equals mx plus b or your mama's ex-boyfriend equation? It doesn't look like that, right? You're missing some stuff in this equation. What does this equation say? It says y equals negative 2. Y equals negative 2. And if you take a look at the negative 2, what is that? That's the what? It's the y-intercept. So it's already telling you this is the y-intercept. Here's the question. Does it have slope? Is there any slope here? Yes or no? No. Actually, there is slope, but you don't see it. Really, what this is telling you, y equals 0x minus 2, okay? So the slope here is 0. Do you remember this? 0 slope. It's what kind of a line? It's a horizontal line. And it's a horizontal line that goes through the y-intercept of negative 2. So your y-intercept is negative 2. And I'm going to ask you again. What kind of line is this? Remember? Okay, y equals is horizontal. So you can go ahead, you can make a horizontal line through y equals negative 2. So what kind of slope is this? Aha, Zorro! It is 0 slope, that's right. In our last example, we see the equation x equals 5, okay? Who remembers when you have the equation x equals 5, what kind of line is that? Is that horizontal or vertical? It's vertical, it's up and down, right? This is x. So in this case, slope, there is no slope, right? It's undefined because remember, when you're trying to walk up a vertical line, you fall off, right? So the x-intercept, which means where will the point be on the x-axis? It'll be at what? It'll be at 5. It's on the x-intercept. And this is no slope. It's no slope. It's what? No slope, exactly, okay? So it has to be a vertical line that goes through 5. Okay? And that is how to graph positive, negative, say it with me, positive, negative, 0 slope, and no slope using your mama's ex-boyfriend. All right, see you tomorrow.